Well, hello everyone. Manny Make 25 here, and talk about right here is for parking permits, for 2016, and I'm sure that most of us have heard of or been asked is like for any parking permits. What are parking permits? And they are basically permits, according to my understanding, which if I can remember, since I've been driving, that I don't recall ever having any kind of parking permit. I'm like that even means like for handling any kind of parking pass, if it's going to be for a handicap spot or anything like that. But let's just say that that was like parking permits that basically that I don't know if you would need them necessarily for like a parking garage right here. I would ahead and do right here as example right here of like for illustration as for like a parking garage. And I know that if anybody here has ever used a parking garage right here, but basically that you see right here are these some examples right here of some cars, and you have a different colored type of car. I can go ahead and we have right here are these cars right up here on the top, and then I can maybe add some more cars, especially. But you see right here is that go ahead and give this like maybe like a red, orange type color, but you have right here is a car right here that if they that would be coming in from the west or from the north, south, east or something like that. And I'm sure that anybody think if you're going to be walking into a building, especially if it's going to be maybe a medical center or somewhere like that, somewhere around town, if they're going to have a parking garage like this right here, and you're like warned to where that they say that please exit on the south side of the building, or maybe on the east side of the building or the west side of the building. So that basically means like anybody like say usually that if this will be like maybe the south side of the building, and then the west would be the west would be like say on the opposite side is like east and southeast, north and west, something like that. So like the way that we would actually calculate is like for anything about the for between north, south, and east and west type exits. But I keep thinking though that let's just say that if this was the south part, and they say that please enter the north part, then I would probably say maybe it would be like if this was like the south, I guess right up on the other side would be like the north, and then and it's like it's confusing. But and then this right here, I guess this would be like the east side exit, or the this west side or something like that, entrance. But some parking garages have it to where that any cars that, like I say, they enter the spot, from there if they're going to be coming in from from the if they're going to be coming in, from maybe from the east or something like that, from the south entrance or something like that, that they'll be, find the spot you're driving in, which I know that with these parking spots right here, like this parking garage right here, the way it works, I guess most of us can, well, if we can remember that the way it works, I can go ahead and I've been in some of those parking garages too, and then like thinking necessarily to where how exactly how do they work necessarily, and you're like, well, that the way they work, I'm pretty sure the way they work is that you have right here is like a like a ramp right here. Whenever you go into the parking garage, there's like a level say ramp right here to where that I can go ahead and try to rotate this right here just to kind of, it's like just to show it like an example right here of like the inside of the parking garage. But kind of like a ramp right there that you go into the parking garage, and there's about altogether about maybe 300 parking spots, and about right here. And anybody like wondering that, I'm like, yeah, they're trying to draw the demonstration right here. But see here, I got the black. Looks like I got the black on. But anyway, yeah, right there is like some parking spots right here. And right up here will be some examples of some parking spots on the inside of the garage. So whenever we if there's going to be a car that's going to be driving in there, and then they would pick one of these spots to park at, and there would be like a ramp that goes to the next floor, and then a ramp up to the next floor, the third floor, and then the fourth floor. So I know that some parking garages that they may contain about, I would say, at least maybe 7 floors. So including maybe for bikes, but like for a parking permit basically is meant as like that. For anybody that's wondering about exactly what they are, is that it's like a permit to where that you can park a reasonable spot, without the cost of anything. If you got a permit to park somewhere, that means to where if it's going to be like maybe a festival around town, or maybe graduation or anything like that, or maybe going to, if you got for a doctor's visit or something like that, that for any reason, is that you would have like a parking permit, or that they would give you like a ticket, and for whenever you go into get into a parking spot, that they would give you, like, say, like a ticket right there, a ticket form to showing, like, for the parking slot 1 or something like that. And then from there, it basically means it's like, yeah, that goes by saying it's like there may be a cost of it, or if anything, it's just a fee of about maybe $10, for the whole week or something like that, or for the month, just to be able to park at that spot. And they basically say, just to find a parking spot, just to get a parking spot, and then take care of what you got to take care of. But the way I think about it, though, is like with parking. With, like, parking permits, as to where I'm like, yeah, that there are some times to where, yeah, but if you only got a parking permit, then more likely that you may have to park. I'm like, they say that, yeah, I can go ahead and duplicate this right here and like shrink the size. But they say, yeah, you may have to park way over here, yeah, and then you may have to walk a few blocks. It's like, yeah, you you didn't have a parking permit to park in one of these spots, and so you drive around, and then you had to park about maybe 7 blocks further. So it's like wondering to where I'm like, yeah, with anybody that's going to be driving, and all of a sudden it's like they coming up to that situation to where that, hey, that well, I didn't have a parking permit, so I had to drive. I drove around for about 20 minutes or so, and if there's anybody that say that, yeah, they had to find a spot, further up here, park at that, spot right there, like, yep, give it like a blue type color, or purple, because that looks more like a purple. But anyway, yeah, right here is these spots right here. Anybody say, yeah, if it's going to be anything related to maybe doctor's appointment or anything like that, like Warren, to where that means that there could be a street right here, there could be maybe a few traffic lights, and like, well, why would you park all the way out there? Like, well, didn't have a parking permit, to park in one of these spots. So just to park somewhere, if still had to attend what I needed to attend, if it was maybe a festival or somewhere like that, or maybe it's a doctor's visit or something like that, and like Warren, to where, hey, you got the parking spot right there. Like, you had to park over here, and maybe you had to walk about maybe 7 blocks just to go where you needed to go. And thinking that you got these parking spots here. But I'm like, yeah, well, I'm sure there's quite a few of them, maybe around town or somewhere, that like thinking that really, I'm like, is it that hard to get a parking permit? I'm like, really? They may say, no, not really. I'm like, it's not hard. It's not that hard to find a parking spot in one of these garages either. And like, got the car right here, and I'm like wondering that really, I'm like, it's they have right here is the car, and like yeah, that you find a spot, and we want to, like on the very top of the building, and as well as maybe the center part of the building right here is like for any parking spots. And I don't know, anybody say, yeah, put maybe a few bikes or something like that, like trucks, and I say, yeah, well, trucks of course are permitted. And you're like, yep, well, no trucks. But anyway, you got out there some examples of some vehicles, and like Warren, where what are parking permits? They're basically permits to, it's like, allow you to park at a certain spot, for certain reasons. And but then on your hand, it may be only good for about the remaining time as well. But anyway, but thinking about necessarily to where how the parking spots work. Is knowing about park somewhere, knowing reasonable is that even though they say that for the reason for the parking is like to make sure it's like you park a reasonable spot. And other than that, May 25. Thanks for watching.